Why, hello there. In today's video, I'm going to be taking my current build, which is in the Thermaltake Tower 200. Now this is a mini ITX chassis, but it fits MATX motherboards and 4-slot GPUs. So that's a 4090 I got in there. It also fits full ATX PSUs and up to 280mm AIOs. I'm going to be swapping everything into the Lian Li Dan A3 MATX case. This is an MATX case, but fits mini ITX, 4-slot GPUs, up to 360mm AIOs, and full ATX power supplies. The specs of my current system are right there on screen. It's very high-end, very power-hungry, and puts out a lot of heat. I found that my GPU was thermal throttling while it sat on the floor. So the reason it was on the floor is because my monitor is ginormous. I have the G9 OLED, the 49-inch ultra-wide monitor. What I want to do is get everything up off the floor, everything transferred over into this case, and not have to buy all new parts, because no one wants to do that. So here's some of the goods that I use whenever I do a build. Got your iFixit case, the manual, the little accessory pack that comes with the case, some X-Acto knives in case you have to cut anything, extra parts, extra cable ties, my extra slim fans, so I've got 3 of them, those are from Artic. So have that all laid out and ready for the build. So to get started, you want to take out the GPU first. It's the last thing you put in when you do your build, so it's going to be the first thing that comes out. I'm removing those screws, taking off all the panels, the side panels. You have to take the top panel off before you can take the side panels off in this case. So push in that PCIe retention flip and your GPU should come free. The big boy. To remove your front panel audio connections, any of the USB connections that you have on the side. Start removing this bracket for your radiator and your fan for your AIO. So having this AIO on the side that pushes air into the system through the radiator keeps the CPU quite cool. So I didn't have any issues there. It was really just with the GPU on the other side. I'm not sure if it had something to do with the orientation of the GPU or the fact that it was just not getting enough airflow. But can't have that. Didn't want it. So I'm gonna have to switch out. So this is me realizing that I'm going to have to remove that PSU in order to get to the SATA power that's powering that AIO before I can remove it. I'm going to take out these screws. There's another retention bracket that holds this in. Once you get those out, that power supply will just slide right out. So I've decided to just go ahead and take out the PSU. That way I could get access to that SATA power that's powering AIO. So the Lian Li Galahad 2 LCD is powered by SATA. And everything else is controlled by that motherboard header. So you're going to control your fan speed, your RGB, your pump speed, and set fan curves through Lian Li's Connect 3 software. So, get that out of the way. This is the TUF Gaming 1000 watt gold modular PSU, and it also has that 12 volt power connector. Goes directly to the GPU. I'm just getting all these wires clear from this AIO. Quite a few wires that come off of that. Seen worse, but I wish there wasn't so many wires. So that cable I'm holding in my left hand is just a daisy chainable cable. So if you want to attach more fans to this configuration, you can. I'm just making sure I wasn't going crazy. Take out the 4 screws that hold your block to your CPU. Make sure you hold that steady so it doesn't just swing around. And remove all the cables, the seat, water block, and your radiator. Ready to go. Disconnect your front USB headers and your front power. And take out the screws your motherboard in. Alright, now we're going to pull out that Dan A3 and start to take off all the side panels. So it'll make building easier. Just go ahead and take them all off. This case is really easy to take down. Everything has thumb screws, slides off. You know, it's fairly straightforward. This is that bracket where if you want to side mount fans or your radiator or anything like that. Lian Li always provides this nice little case with all your extra bolts and tidbits for the case. It's quite nice. Bottom dust filter. There it is. I'm really impressed with the size of this case and how much you can actually fit into this case. 26 liters. It's quite a bit smaller than the Thermaltake Tower 200 that I'm currently using. So it's going to fit right there to the right of my monitor, where that Thermaltake Tower 200 case just couldn't fit just because of how square it is. Go ahead and fit the motherboard into its position. This is the Gigabyte AORSB 650M. It's got a built-in IO shield, so you don't have to worry about putting the IO shield in. Just slide that motherboard in and, screw her down. Make sure you get all of these screws screwed down tightly. Not too tight. It's your front panel audio. It's typically bottom left-hand corner of your motherboard. Just line up the little inputs and plug it in. The front panel connector is quite easy on this case too. It's actually integrated into one plug, so you don't have to try to figure out which ones go where. So it's a lot easier on this case. It's your USB connection, USB-C connections for your front panel header. And just for fun, to see if this might be able to squeeze into the top. According to the website at Lian Li, this doesn't work, and I didn't expect it to. I just wanted to show you guys that not everything will fit up there. Just because a 360 millimeter AIO will fit in the top doesn't mean a 280 will fit. So it doesn't. I'm going to go ahead and route my slim 120 millimeter fans, get them set up in the bottom here. So they're going to pull air in from the bottom, and they're going to push air directly into the GPU, and that GPU is going to stay nice and cool. These also daisy chain together, making it simple. Once you get them daisy chained, you're going to just have one fan header you have to use to power these. And so choose which one you want to use. Obviously, you're going to pick one at the bottom, making cable management easier when you go to do that. All right, once you got all of those screws installed, just try to figure out what you're going to do with all these excess cables. What I like to do is route them along the back in that little channel that is created when you install fans, and those will stay down there pretty good. Just push them down there and then get them out of the way. The more you tidy up as you work, the easier it is to build. This is that front bracket. I'm going to go ahead and install this AIO and radiators directly to that. These screws are long enough you can actually just run them straight through the fan into your radiator, and it's all mounted directly to that bracket. Once you get all those screws installed into your radiator, do a test fit, test run, make sure it clears everything. I'm going to install the fans. Last thing I'll need to do is install that power supply and do some cable management. So I'm trying to figure out the best configuration for the power supply, and I found that since I had that rear exhaust fan, the only way I could get this to work is to mount that power supply on that back panel. That way I could actually clear enough to mount this AIO in the front. there's not a lot of space in between that rear fan and the edge of that radiator. But I did get it to work. Clears without an issue. Go ahead and button it up. I'm gonna have to make some changes. I got some parts coming in, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut here, and then I'll catch back up to you when I have it completed. Okay, so after making some adjustments, you can see that I have it all buttoned up, cable managed, and in the final configuration. So what I ended up doing was I purchased two Artic 140mm exhaust fans. So what I have now is two 140mm exhausts on top. Power supply is mounted to the front. That easily clears that beefy RTX 4090. There's plenty of clearance. Those 120mm slim fans at the bottom. The cables all fit nicely off to the side. Now here's the tolerances for this build. Not a lot of room left, so I couldn't have any rear exhaust, but that's fine. Look at that. There's absolutely no space, but it clears. It's like I did that on purpose. Same thing with the other side. Not a lot of room there, but looks like I did that on purpose. Closes up nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and put all the panels back on and get some glamour shots of this bad boy. All right, here we go with that first boot. Now this was a working build, so I knew this configuration was already good, but you might want to just not put on all the side panels before you press that power button on your first boot if you're a novice builder. So you might have forgot something, but I was pretty confident. And it's a little slow to post, but it does post. The L-Connect software, I think, will catch up, and those fans will light up here soon. The last thing I wanted to show you guys was some thermal performance while in game. Now these components, they take a lot of juice to power and they put out a lot of heat. So I'm actually very impressed with the thermal performance in this configuration. So throughout this gameplay, you'll notice that GPU doesn't ever get above 64 degrees. And the CPU, you know, it hovers around the mid to lower 70s. So it's pretty good for the 7950X3D and really acceptable temperature range for 4090. Those slim fans at the bottom definitely help keep that thing under control, and those two exhaust fans at the top really dissipate that heat very well. So that's gonna wrap up today's video. I hope you got something out of it. I just wanted to really show that you could possibly take everything from your current build, which is larger, and put it into this case without any issues and without any thermal problems. I'm going to let this video play out. I got some clips going in the background so you guys can kind of watch some bad Overwatch gameplay. And you can monitor temperatures that way. If you'd like me to run more tests with some different benchmark suites, just let me know. I just wanted to get this, quick little gameplay snippet on there so you guys can kind of get just a general idea of how it handles playing games. If you like the video, don't forget to like the video. Leave a comment if you have any information you want to share with me. If you use the Dan A3, let me know what you think about it. If you use the Thermaltake Tower 200 case, let me know what you think about that case as well. If you have any the similar problems I had, I'd like to know about it. And for everyone else, thank you for sticking around and getting to the end of the video. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.